sometimes people used to ask me that, sir, how you're able to run these kind of projects, or how like you're able to get those projects. So my request to all of you is that sometimes people say that university is very difficult to handle projects. I will say it openly. Yes, there are difficulties, and Professor M.M. Singh is there. I hope, because he is. I don't see his name in the participant, but he is, I think, with Dr. Lavkush at the same platform. So sir is knowing that VC sir is encouraging projects just like anything. Some around 1 month back, he hold a meeting with the finance officer, people from stores, and with all the PIs of Bundelkhand University, and Professor M.M. Singh sir was also there in the capacity of Dean Science. So sir told that to the finance section also and to the store section also, that every project should be handled carefully, and it should be handled with in such a way that the grants are utilized maximally. And sir is making all effort that he is writing on the file very harsh comment on file for the dealing assistants who are not pursuing the file very rapidly, who are not pursuing the file correctly. So my advice or my request will be to all of you that we can go for projects, because it is for our personal development. University's development is there, because if we get grant from outside, it is adding to the value of the university, because the name of the university is being listed in the funding agencies, and university is also getting some amount as overhead for the university expenses. But above all, it is for personal development. It is our personal development, because when we get money, we can plan up a lot of things. We can do good research, because in science particularly, today without money we cannot do good research. Thanks to our former Vice Chancellor Professor Avinash Pandey, that we got a very excellent facility in form of Innovation Center with us. You know, like when we write a project in science, and generally like our institutions which are in B grade institution, we are still at B++ grade. So these kind of institutions, like generally we do not get very big grant from central funding agencies. I tried, I got some big grants because I collaborated with people, and in collaboration definitely we can get big grants. So thanks to our former Vice Chancellor, that we have a very good facility in form of Innovation Center, where we have equipments costing say more than 20 lakh, 30 lakh, 40 lakh. So these kind of equipments are very difficult to purchase out of the personal projects. So if we have a equipment available in our Innovation Center, we have to make our project using that facility, so that easily we can get 20, 30, 40 lakhs very easily. And in that 20, 30, 40 lakhs, you will find that lot of amount is there for consumables. We can buy good consumables, do good research, write good papers, and make those papers basis for another project, right? Then we got very good amount for travel. I tell you, like you go to any part of the country, present your work, and you don't have to ask for a single penny from the university. University might not be giving you. Maybe we are having say 20, 30,000 travel budget in the department, and the takers are 10. So maybe you will not be able to get any money out of this grant. And since last 3, 4, 5 years, UGC has also stopped the unassigned travel grant. So no travel grant is available with the university. But yes, if you get your own project, because every project they write, like one part of the travel can always be used for presentation of your research at different platforms. So you go to any part of the country, present your work, interact with people, represent university, so that people know about Bundelkhand University, and also you interact with people, and you can develop collaborations. Because in a system like us, where it is not very much appreciated system, like we say, I'm saying we are B++ grade university, not doing well since last say 30 years or so. So I think our age of teachers, we have the responsibility that we can take it further. We can write good projects, get good grant, and then publish good, and then write another project. So this way, I think if we move on, then we can get very good projects. As far as the running of the project is concerned, that is with the university. And yes, there are problems, I admit it very boldly. And yes, when we say that there are problems, and then I say that yes, there are solutions also. So we have to move in right direction. We have to pursue our files, and then we can get our job done. And at present, when VC sir is so supportive about the projects, it is really a motivation and a guiding force for all of us that this is the best time to write our first project, get it, and then keep on getting grants for future life. And it is this like it is the need of the hour. Everybody is looking towards universities for doing good research. So I think I can just I can discuss with all of you what I am doing in my projects, how I got those projects, how I'm running those projects, and what I'll be little bit broader. I have made it that what are different funding opportunities available, from where we can get the project, and how we can write a good proposal, and like that. I'll be focusing my project on my presentation on research funding opportunities in science and technology, particularly because most of the projects like we are getting, it is from science and technology funding agencies of Government of India. And I hope that people who are from social sciences, they know about their funding agencies, because I am not much aware about that, which are the funding agencies for people from social sciences or arts and humanities background. So my major research area is bioactive compounds from medicinal plants and quality analysis of medicinal plant products. And currently I am having 4 major projects. One is, it is a DBT-Turmeric Initiative project from Department of India, Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, and it is for development of high value turmeric varieties which are having very high content of the bioactive compounds. Probably people know from very basic knowledge about what we have generated in COVID, that some of the natural products, they are having very good biological activity, and turmeric is one of the product. और आपने भी सुना होगा कि even the AYUSH, Ministry of AYUSH has recommended that everyone should try to use golden milk, and golden milk is nothing but milk with turmeric, and this is a wonderful plant which is having very good pharmacological activity. And one of the most explored pharmacological activity of turmeric is anti-inflammatory, and possibly anti-inflammatory activity is the one activity which may be responsible for giving some relief from COVID if somebody is regularly consuming golden milk, because one manifestation of coronavirus is that it induces inflammatory response in the host. Some of the pro-inflammatory cytokines are like they are initiated, they are excited, and they are upregulated. So there are reports that it is having the turmeric is having anti-inflammatory property. So the goal of the project is that we have to develop high value products which can be tested for biological activity. Another project, another high value project, it is for medicinal aromatic crops in Bundelkhand, and I'm having this project in collaboration with 3 Government of India laboratories. One is from CMAP Lucknow, another is CSIR laboratory in IIIM Jammu, and one MSME center is there, FFDC in Kannauj. So as I have told earlier, we need to collaborate, because if we are able to collaborate well, we will be able to get good projects. Another project which I am having again in the same area is from DBT, and it is a although small project, but we are focusing on 3-4 plants for development of like for cottage level cultivation and development of the products. Then we are also working with industry, and I am having one project currently from industry. It was initially sanctioned for 1 year, and later on it was extended, where we are doing cell-based in vitro safety studies of the finished herbo-mineral preparations. Like the finished products, Ayurvedic products, we are testing them for safety, and we have developed a cell-based facility at Innovation Center, a very good cell culture facility. So we have made some cell-based models. So using this cell-based model, we are screening large number of compounds for their safety. One project I have already completed from Badnath, that is on anti-obesity, one formulation they have prepared. So we have evaluated its toxicity, its efficacy and toxicity in animal models, and we have submitted report to them, and this is now it is in the product development, and they will be launching this product soon. Earlier products which I got, I worked on diabetes for quite some time, and I got two major projects on diabetes. One was on probiotics, modulatory effect of probiotics in diabetic rats. There are certain enzymes, gut enzymes I was focusing on, and we got two very good publication out of this project, and I have further given this work for some advanced studies to one of my students, Sumiran. She is also a member of today's gathering. So we are further exploring this area, and let us see if we can come up with some new ideas. Then one project I got from CSIR way back. This was my first project, and I just started from here in 2010, and luckily the chain is not broken. It is like a chain reaction. Now after 2010, every time I'm getting some grant, so that I'm able to do my research in a comfortable position. So what are different extramural research funding opportunities in India? Because when we say extramural, means we have to get funds from outside. Every agency is giving funds out of its own institutions. Like if I say CSIR, it got its own lab, so it is giving funds to its own scientists in its own lab also, and also it is giving funds to the other scientists also, like the university faculty members. Like similarly, all agencies are having, like ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, Department of Biotechnology, Department of Science Technology. Every institution, every funding agency is having their own institutions. So they are giving money to their own institutions also, and they are giving funds to other faculty members and scientists also. So if we are getting money from DBT and we are not part of DBT, then this kind of funding is called extramural. Some institutions, they have started intramural also, because particularly like central universities, they have started with intramural concept of funding. In fact, we have proposed it to then Vice Chancellor Professor Avinash Pandey sir, that we should start a concept of intramural, where now we have equipment, we can give some money, seed money to the faculty members, and with that seed money, those who are not able to publish any good paper since last say 5-6 years, with that seed money they can do some work, they can publish 1 or 2 good papers, and then they can come in the mainstream for writing the project. Because if we have to write a project today, then in past 5 years I must have published good papers. If I have not published good paper in past 5 years, then getting the project will be little bit difficult. So this we propose that we should have our own intramural research funding concept, so that university should give seed money to all the teachers, science also and arts and humanities also, so that everybody can initiate research, those who are not able to do it since past few years. These are some of the funding agencies where most of us in science are getting money. Some of the agencies, like I have highlighted because I got money from almost from these agencies so far. So and these agencies, they are having very good amount of money, they can fund very high value projects, provided that the concept is viable and it is going to deliver some novel outcome. So any of these agencies can be approached for funding. There are some more agencies are there, so all these agencies are giving funds. And so in my opinion, in case of science, there is no scarcity of funds. All we need, that we have to write good projects to these agencies, and so if we write good projects, definitely we will get money, and we can move ahead with our research as well as our career. This is one of the major funding agency of Government of India, and in Department of Science and Technology, there are many we can say departments, or we say schemes, or say heads under which they give different kind of projects. But the major one that we always look for is SERB, that is Science and Engineering Research Board. So this is one department of one section of Department of Science and Technology, which gives a lot of money, very high value projects they are giving. So if you want to write a project, you just go to SERB website and you will find that mostly like earlier, it was throughout the year they were accepting projects, but since last 2 years they have made it, they have restricted it, and now they are inviting projects only twice a year. So they have call for proposal generally either ending in July or ending in December. So since last 2 years they are inviting proposals only twice a year. So we can just keep ourselves ready and we can submit our project in any of the call for the project given by DST. And they have different sections in SERB like chemical sciences, earth and atmospheric sciences, engineering sciences, life sciences. So we can submit projects to any of the division which is relevant to us. Then we have their technology development board is there. So they give money for different kind of activities, and we can also get funding from there. And this you can see here one agency, National Good Laboratory Practice Compliance Monitoring Authority. I would have been talking about this in my GLP lecture, but I can just give one idea here, because for good laboratory practice is like every kind of drug made or every kind of product made for human use, it must be manufactured and using good laboratory practice, so that whatever product we are getting, it is quality assured, safe for human consumption, and biologically active. Generally we say na that when we talk about say natural product based medicine, somebody is taking ashwagandha and he says that I am not getting any benefit from ashwagandha. But if we go and research, do research or literature survey, we find that ashwagandha is producing very good like adaptogenic activity it is having. So it is producing very good effect. So the ashwagandha which I am consuming, why it is not producing any effect? Possibly the product is not quality assured, it is not having the desired chemical constituents in it, that's why it is not able to produce the desired effect. So it has come up that we should have a monitoring agency. So one kind of monitoring agency is good laboratory practice for testing of all the drugs and pharmaceuticals. And India is a member of OECD country, and all OECD country are having GLP monitoring agency. So India is also having GLP monitoring agency, where all testing of the drugs, whether chemical testing, biological testing or safety testing, must be under purview of that is National Good Laboratory Practice Compliance Monitoring Authority. One certificate that we were planning for, like for our animal house, newly constructed animal house, and for our innovation center also we can get certification. Then it is having one international cell also, where we can write joint projects with any of the country. If we want to collaborate outside India, we can collaborate with them, with anybody like in US or Germany or in different countries. Indo-French concept is there, Indo-US, Indo-German. So International Science and Technology Corporation is one other division of DST, which is giving funding to people in science and technology. Then we have science and technology for socio-economic program, and for this particular section, the projects are being invited throughout the year. So whenever we wish, we can submit project. Then women scientist schemes are there. There are 2 schemes, WAS. There are 3 schemes, WAS A, B, and C. And you see that it is it is for female who are PhD and who, due to family obligations, they could not continue their research work. So they can come up again in science by using any of these schemes, and they can write projects. And it is exclusively for women who have completed PhD but could not continue their career due to family obligations. Department of Biotechnology, another very major funding agency which gives huge grant in biological sciences. So almost like every branch of science they cover up, every branch of biology they cover up. But you must have some kind of biotechnology component added to your project. So it's again like it's a very good agency, and a lot of money they have, and all that we have to do, we have to try to get it for our institution. Then they have also opened one public private partnership where we can combine with industry. Like as a university teacher, I can combine with any industry, and then I can get good amount of funds from industry also and from DBT also. DBT is also having a women scientist scheme. Difference way of the women scientist scheme of DBT is that it also gives money to uh, women scientists who are in job, either employed or unemployed. Like the WAS scheme of DST was for unemployed women who has done PhD, but due to family obligation they have to there is a break in their career. But DBT Biocare scheme, it gives money to both the females who are employed in research institutions, or those who are having break in career, they can also participate in the scheme. Then another is CSIR. It is having extramural research grant, and luckily I got one extramural research grant from CSIR few years back. So because most of us know that CSIR give fellowship. Yes, it gives JRF, SRF and RA also, and it also gives extramural funds, so we can approach CSIR also for the projects. And these are some of other schemes of CSIR where we can write and get some grant. Then another very newly created department is Department of Health Research, and it is clubbed with Indian Council of Medical Research. So they have ad hoc research scheme for extra. It is similar to extramural research scheme. So any one of us can write. They have a very good scheme for short-term visiting fellowship. Like if you want to go to abroad for some training for 15 days, 20 days, 1 month, it is maximally up to 3 months. So you can write that fellowship to them, and you can get money, and you can do some advanced training either in some institution outside India and even in some institution within India also. Then UGC, it was unfortunately since last few years research project they are not giving, although they invited project last year in stride 2, and we were expecting individual research practice in stride 2 scheme, stride 2 component, and we were expecting some grant from them, but possibly due to COVID they could not continue with the activity. But I am happy that our university got one scheme. I think it is in stride 1. Is it in stride 1 or stride 3, Dr. Lavkush?
Stride 1, sir.
Stride 1. So we got it in stride 1. So we are lucky. Congratulations to Dr. Lavkush and Professor M.M. Singh sir, that we were able to get some very good project, and this today's activity is under umbrella of this stride program. But like they could not start with stride 2. Let us see that they have invited a proposal, but probably they were not screened, and then we got corona epidemic, so we could not like possibly UGC could not take up those projects. But I am hopeful that now they got grant, and they have initiated a new concept of stride, because earlier this was major research project. Now they have remodulated it to stride, and we are likely to get good money. So all university teachers, they must try with the stride component 2. These are individual research projects like extramural projects. Then UGC gives other fellowships also, and these are for students. Another ministry is Ministry of AYUSH, which is giving very good grant in case of for natural products. And I'm very happy to share that we got a project recently. We have written one project on immunomodulation on certain herbs in COVID, and because when I wrote this project, then COVID, the hospital of Lakshmibai Medical College, it was not functional. So we wrote this project in collaboration with KGMU, and we got the project. We have initiated the work, and because because KGMU was the first center of COVID in our state, so I wrote this project with KGMU, and we got it. We got 10 lakh rupees for a very short project, and our studies are in process. So this is the details of some of the consolidated detail of some of the funding agencies which can be approached for funding. So if you wish, you can take a screenshot of it, and you can use it for your for future. You can use it when you are writing a project. Okay, now I'll just focus the next part of my presentation on how to write a good research proposal. So when we say when we have to write a good research proposal, we have to write everything. Like, we need a detailed plan of action for scientific inquiry, like what we want to do. It should be very clear that what actually we want to pursue, because if we do not if we are not clear what we want to do, it will be very difficult to make the task force member understand. So first thing is that we should have a detailed plan of action for the scientific inquiry. It should systematically represent the research problem. So whatever problem we have selected, like it should actually be a problem. Generally what I have felt, we have also made that mistake in our initial phase, that where we have written projects for 3-4 years and we didn't get any, and later on with experience we understood that the problem should be there. It should not be created by us, it should be existing. If there is some issue and if we write some project to address that issue, then yes, the chances of getting the grant is very high. Then we should the proposal should indicate the significance of the problem, why it is very important to address that problem. It should contain methods to test the hypothesis, like this is the problem, I want to solve it like this. So the hypothesis which I am proposing, we should have methods to test it. Then we should have a timetable or outline for the project, when I will be able to complete it, because earlier some of the projects were for 5-year duration, 4-year duration, but now the duration of the every project, even the infrastructural project like STRIDE, they have reduced it to 3 years. So we should provide a clear-cut timeline or timetable or time outline for the project, that I'll be able to complete it this particular duration. Then estimated cost, yes, that is required. And then preliminary step of research work. It is must. Like, if I have done something earlier, and if I say that okay, I have some initial results with me, then convincing the task force becomes little bit easy. So we can easily get the project. So that's why I have proposed that we should have an intramural research fund in the university. We should have some initial results with us, and based on those initial results we should write a project, particularly in science. I believe in case of arts and humanities or social sciences, we can have some basic survey data with little bit of input, but yes, input is required, and in my opinion university should give that input in the beginning. So before you start writing a project, you should identify the problem, then which area of that problem need exploration, then will my idea lead to greater understanding or fill the gap of the knowledge, like whatever gaps are available in the current status of the knowledge, the idea should be able to fill it up. And what are your expectations from the project? It is a very general question asked when we present the data in front of the task force members. So they say it very clearly, what are your expectations? So if I say that the possible outcome or tangible outcome is this, then they will evaluate whether whatever your planning is, whether it is going towards your tangible outcomes, or your tangible outcomes are different and your planning is different. So we have to ask this question to ourselves before we start writing a project. Then these are some basic things we have already discussed. So before we start writing, like, focus on your research project. What is the topic of research? Importance to industry or society? Do I have necessary skill and knowledge? What is the novelty and rationale of your research? What are your objectives and goals? What are the hypotheses and research methods? What are statistical validation tools? So these questions we have to ask ourselves before we have to start writing the project. So we must write these questions on a piece of paper, and we try to answer those questions, and in doing so, we'll be able to generate a very good research project. Then after pooling all these things, I should finalize the funding agency which may be interested in funding this study. So if I am having some biotechnology component in my research, I may approach DBT, because that is the more appropriate agency. If I am working with say human subject or drug which is having clinical importance, then I may approach ICMR, which is of more relevance. If I am working certain products which are may be useful, say for high altitude sickness or say another kind of stress, then DRDO may be a good agency. So once I plan my activity, I should identify my funding agencies, because the funding agencies, they got their own mandate. So my project should fit in those in the mandate of the funding agency. If it is not fitting in the mandate, then it will be very difficult, because generally they won't be able to fund it like out of their mandate. But it is, if within their mandate, it will be very easy to get the funds. So these are like some of the components which the research project proposal must have, like title page of research, summary or abstract, introduction, background, goals and objective, plan of work or outline, methodology, budget, and appendixes like some questionnaires or whatever is there, and references. So these are the basic framework a research work must contain. Then again, like when we are writing a project for a particular agency, we have to check the specification of particular funding agency. Then the title should be very clear, non-ambiguous, and focus reflection of the project. Generally, like just by reading by the title, the task force member should be able to get what the PI want to do. So in my opinion, like two things. One is title of the project, another is objective. So if somebody reads title and objective, the person must be interested in my project. So if I have written say 50, 60, 70 pages, the person will first read only 2 pages. One is the title page, and another will be the objective page. And from the title and objective, the expert will be able to have an idea that whether the project is worth funding or not, or worth reading or not. Then we should have a very crisp summary or abstract, because once it is appealing to the expert that okay, title is very good, objectives are seems very good, then he or she will directly go to the summary. So summary should be it should be able to describe the complete the outcome of the project, or what is the background of the project, what you want to do, and what is the tangible outcome. So these things should be included in the summary. Then the introduction should also include the background, like what work has been done so far, because every new research is always based on the previous review of literature. So generally, like in case of when we are writing a project, we got the concept of because every funding agency wants that who else is working in our country, like who else is working in India on this area. So they ask us to write about national status of research. Then they ask us to write about the international status, that who else is working outside India on this particular area, and what are their outcomes. So they ask that when we are writing the review of literature, then they ask that what is the national status and what is the international status, right? Then scientific significance and uniqueness, because we have to indicate that how my project, because I have presented a literature survey, I have presented national and international status. So I should, at the bottom of the introduction, I should be able to spell out very clearly that how my idea is different from others. This much work has been done, and in today's time of internet era, and where a lot of literature is available in open access, it's very difficult to hide anything. So if you hide anything, if you say that this is a novel work, this has not been done so far, and I'll be the first one to initiate this work, they will simply put few keywords in PubMed, and they will find out that what is done in this particular area. So it should have some kind of significant or unique research we have to plan, novelty and originality and relationship with the thrust area of the agency. That is the must, because I am emphasizing it that if it is in the mandate of a particular agency, so we have to select the right kind of agency for the right kind of project. And if we select the right kind of agency, it is in their mandate, then getting it cleared is little bit easy. Then goals and objectives should be very clear, and they should be measurable, focused and feasible. Objective should be measurable, focused and feasible. We should not plan something which is unmeasurable, no tool is available, no standardized technique is available. Then task force may not be able to say spend 50 lakh rupees. They will say that we do not know that whether we'll be getting some outcome or not. So it should be measurable, focused and feasible. Objective should be there. And then plan of work, like it should be broken in several smaller time bound steps and tasks. And methodology, like research design, sample plan, variables, data collection, statistical consideration, probable limitations and alternate methodology. These all should be the part of methodology. If something we are saying it should work, if it doesn't work, then we should have alternate methodology as well. Then budget part is also, it has to be taken care of very clearly, because it is for a specified period. So we must, because nowadays the agencies has limited the time period of projects to maximally 3 years. So we have to make it in such a way that we'll be able to finish it up in 2.5 years, and then we have sufficient time for writing a report to the funding agency and for writing papers or patents as well. Then appendices, like we need like biodata of co-PI, PI, then reprints of publications, then facilities and equipments available at the host institutions, then NOCs and other clearance like institutional ethical committee or biosafety committee, all that, whatever is the project requirement. So these kind of clearance should be submitted. In the end, I'll say that when you have done all these things, then read it again, revise and revise, because you have to refine it to the maximum extent, then finalize and then submit before deadline. So this is the total layout what I have discussed with you, and I hope if we go like this, then getting the grant is quite high, and let's be very optimistic about getting a good grant. So thank you very much. So I have finished this part of my presentation, and I would be happy that if we have some discussions, we can make it open. Thank you, Dr. Lavkush, and now I think we can have some discussions or some like points of participants if they wish to.
Okay, thank you so very much, sir. It was very informative. And जो हमने शुरुआत में ये चीज डिस्कस करी थी, कई बार बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें होती हैं जो हम लोग एक मन में हिंड्रेंस रहता है कि भाई कैसे प्रोजेक्ट करेंगे, हमने पहले कभी किया नहीं है, या भाई हमको किस तरह से उसको एग्जीक्यूट करना होगा, उन काफ़ी चीज़ों पे, या कौन कौन सी हमारे अप्रोप्रिएट हमारे राइटिंग के लिए, हमारे प्रोजेक्ट प्रपोजल के लिए कौन सी अप्रोप्रिएट फंडिंग एजेंसी होगी, इन सारी चीज़ों पे सर ने बहुत अच्छे से फोकस किया है। और जब भी हम कोई एक प्रपोजल लिख रहे हैं तो उस प्रपोजल को हम किस एंगल से लिखें, या किन चीज़ों पे हमको ज़्यादा फोकस करना है, इन चीज़ों को हमको क्लियर रखना है, जिससे कि जो हमारा रिव्यूअर होगा तो वो जो सबमिट करने के बाद वो किन चीज़ों पर फोकस करते हैं, जिससे कि आसानी से वो प्रोजेक्ट क्लिक हो सकें। हमको ऑब्जेक्टिव्स अपने किस तरह से डिज़ाइन करने हैं जो हमारे उस प्रोजेक्ट स्कीम से मैच मिलते जुलते हों, या उससे फोकस जो उसके स्कोप में आते हों, ये सारी चीज़ें जो है वो काफ़ी अच्छे से सर ने फोकस की। मैं अब पार्टिसिपेंट्स के यदि कुछ क्वेश्चन हैं तो मैं उन लोगों को जो है वो इनवाइट करूंगा। नाउ दिस सेशन इज ओपन फॉर द क्वेश्चन प्लीज।
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lavkush.